One of the objections I often hear my friends say against Christianity is this question: Nathan, but what about people who have never heard about Christ? What about people who have never had the opportunity to accept God's invitation of eternal life? That doesn't seem fair. And that last word sort of gets at the heart of the issue. If this is true, that people have never had the opportunity to accept God's invitation of eternal life, well, yes, that actually does seem unfair. But here's the first point I'd like to make. What we do know from the scriptures is that God is fair. God is just. Just looking at the last book of the Bible, Revelation. Revelation has many pictures that tell us what the end will look like. And what we hear are people saying not, hey, God, this is not fair. The way things have ended here, this does not seem right. How could you do this? What we do hear are people saying, true and just are your ways. True and just are your ways. It's quite amazing, actually, when you think about it, that what they're saying there is, this is fair. This is right. So we know this much. And there might be uncertainty within the question, and this question might be troubling, but we know this much. God is fair. He is just. But more than that, God's resources are not limited to our physical means. What do I mean by that? Well, often when we hear this question, hey, look, what about those people who have never heard? We associate that word hearing with actually just physical encounters, like hearing by a public speaker, or a conversation with a person, or through online media. But what I'd like to say here, again, is God's resources are not limited to those physical means. He works in many other ways. We keep hearing stories of people encountering Christ, encountering God through angelic encounters, visions, dreams. Now, I'm sure many of you might say, well, yes, but that's the exception. I mean, that doesn't happen all the time. Now, I'll grant you that, and I'll even work with that and say, perhaps it is the exception. But what it does tell us is this: God is not limited. The way in which He works, how He acts, how He speaks, how He ministers is not limited to those physical means. So, when we are asked this question, what do we do when look, this is a big question, Nathan. What about people who have never heard? We know this much. God is just, He is fair, and His resources are not limited to our physical means.